Hi. It's Tina from CNC Designs. Welcome. Happy Monday to you all. I'm gonna get started. We're gonna be broadcasting live tonight from two places here at CNC Designs as well as from the Crafting Network. So I am going to see if I can pull us up on the page and we can get started. 1 second. Let me turn my volume down so we don't hear echoes. As you come in, please stop and say hello. If you see the red live button above my head, that means we are live. Please say hello. If you do not see that button, that means you have caught me on replay. In any case, please say hello so that I can be sure to say hello back to you. Hello, Miss Patterson. How are you, my friend? Happy Monday. Let me see if I can pull us up on the page so that we can get started. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Come on now. Hello, Miss Frisbee. How are you? Happy Monday to you. How's everybody doing? I cannot seem to find our live, so give me a sec. I think I have located us. Okay. Okay, I think we're good now. Hi, Iris. How are you, my friend? Happy Monday, everyone. Hope everybody's weekend was good. Hello, Ashley. How are you? Thank you for joining. I have been pretty busy this weekend making ornaments. Been receiving a lot of orders for the ornaments that I created in the class that I taught. I posted some pictures. Let me give you guys a close-up. This is the ornament that everybody seems to love. And I've been getting quite a few orders. It's really substantial. I just love how it turned out. And these are going to be on sale in my auction. I have a couple more that I'll be auctioning off in the choice of the purchaser's color. Hello, Susie. How are you? Thank you for joining. Hi, Miss Fagan. How are you? But tonight is Magnolia Monday, and we're going to be making a piece tonight that is going to serve as kind of a decor tray of sorts. We're going to be using this round cutting board as our base. Some of you have seen me use this before with my cornbread stencil. We use this as a skillet. So this is a very versatile piece, and I've gone ahead already and base coated the front and the back with Waverly Crimson paint. I've given it a good coat on both sides. And we're going to be applying the Magnolia stencil tonight. Hi, Susie. Did I say hello to you? And this is the stencil that we're going to be using. Of course, as you can see, this stencil is definitely big. So we're going to be concentrated primarily in the middle of it. We're going to do some adjustments, and we're going to hopefully come up with a nice piece. Excuse me. I do see that I have a spot here that I did not get with my paint when I was covering it. So I want to go, I'm looking for my palette, but I don't see it. Okay, so we're gonna have to improvise, and I will just use this. I'll just use this little bag as kind of a palette piece. I know I brought them to the table. What I did with them though, I have no idea. So I'm just gonna take this little brush I have a little spot here that I see that I've missed. I think you can see it there. So we're gonna just cover up those imperfections and go forward. Okay, so I think we got there. And we'll add a little more here on the handle. You won't really see this, but I like to have finished pieces, and since I noticed it, I'm just going to go ahead and fix it. I think we have time because this project won't take that long. Okay, I think we're set now. And when we're complete, we'll be adding some feet to our little project, and these are going to be our feet. Not sure if I'm going to add some red to those just yet, but we'll see as we move along. Hi Nina, how are you? Hi Miss Isla, how are you? Long time no see. I hope all is well, my friend. So we're just going to put a little bit of heat on this, just a little bit on these edges where I've dabbed, just so that I can be able to handle it and not worry about getting too much paint on my hands, especially up here. So this can act as a serving tray. It can also be that little tray that you bring out with your kids or your grandkids during the holiday season, where you put Santa's cookies and milk and whatnots out under the tree. This is called our Mrs. Claus Bake Shop stencil. It is a 12 by, I believe that's 28 stencil. So it's a pretty substantial piece. This is the first time that I'm using this stencil, so we'll see. Hello Carla, hello Bonnie, how are you? So as I said, this is a really big stencil. You can put it on a tray. I do have a big tray that I'm considering putting it on that tray, but tonight I just wanted to use it on this piece. And like I said, I wanted to concentrate in this middle area of Mrs. Claus's Made with Love. Yes, I'm going to use the Mrs. Claus's Made with Love. We're going to use the Established. We're going to use the cookies, hot fudge. And then instead of having Bake Shop, we're going to move Shop right over into the middle. So that's our goal for the night. Hi, Miss Snyder. How are you? Thank you. I'm glad you caught me live as well. So I'm going to take out my fuzz cloth. Let's put this over to the side up here a little bit so that we can fuzz this stencil. This is the first time using it. And as always, when it's your first time using a stencil, you do want to take some of the tackiness off of the back so that it doesn't peel your paint up. Which normally, if it would have peeled up some paint from me with my style, I would not mind, because you guys know, if you've watched me for any length of time, I love the whole chippy effect. But that's not what I'm going for tonight, so I'm hoping not to pull up any paint. And if I do, not too much. I do want to see if I can add just a little bit of crackle in there, just because I love the way that looks. It gives it some extra texture and some visual interest. But we'll be doing that with my stamp. Hello, Carla. How are you? I just want to take some off. This is a pretty big stencil, so it is a little bit more of a challenge to handle. So, for any of you who may be watching for the first time, I am a Magnolia Stencil Designs rep. I have a Magnolia shop online where you can order any of the stencils, the chalk paste that you see me using tonight. It's all on sale in my shop, and at the end of this live I will leave a link to this stencil as well as my shop. So you can go and check it out, see if there's anything that you might like to order for your holiday decor. Hi Sheila, how are you? Thank you for watching. Hello Crystal. So I'm gonna place this, like I said, I know that we're not gonna get the entire stencil on here, but there's certain key pieces that I want. So I'm just gonna center it in a way that makes me happy, and then we'll make our adjustments and go accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to be careful not to get these words. I do want this kind of candy cane line that we have here, and here. I'm going to leave this blank because I don't want that. I want that to be blank because I'm going to shift the word shop over. So let me just see if I can hold it up so you can see what we're working with. Everywhere that's red is where we're going to be applying our chalk paste. And I am going to be putting this down with our brilliant white chalk paste from Magnolia tonight. Hi Stephanie, how are you? Thank you for watching. I'm gonna get my squeegees out. I'm gonna get a big one and a smaller one just in case. Okay, I do have a little stir stick over here that I was using earlier to stir my paste around. Magnolia stencils are reusable. You can use them over and over again as long as you clean them properly. You should not have any challenges. And you just clean them with some cool, warm to lukewarm soapy water. Hi Carol, how are you? Hello Anita, how are you? Thank you for joining. So I'm gonna be quiet for a minute because I gotta concentrate here, otherwise I will go right in the areas where I said I did not want to go because I would not have been focusing. This one is kind of big now, so let me, and with chalk paste, you do want to work sort of fast, but not so quick that you're missing spots. And you want to be sure to not go over and over in the same spot because that will push your paste into your screen and your stencils and glom it up and make it harder to use or to reuse next time. So like I said, we want this line here. I'm going to be careful not to get any of those letters in though, because I don't want those letters right now. And in my mind's eye, this looks really cute. I'm hoping that that translates onto the piece. So I'm going to just go down this way. So that way I'm sure to stay away from the text that I don't want included. Or shall I say that we don't have space to include. This is not a new stencil to Magnolia. It's been out for a while. I think this is the second Christmas that it's been out, but it's my first time using it. Okay, so I'm just bringing any excess paste back down here. A little bit goes a long way. I'm going to try and pick up any excess and put it back into our pot. Just going to look again and make sure I have not missed any spaces before we pull it up. So let's lift and look. When lay back down, that's looking good. And this is looking good as well. I think we're able to pick this up. I'm gonna lay this face down into some water because I do need to clean this off because we will be using it again to finish off our piece. But I want to get some of that paste out so that we start with a sort of fresh stencil on our next lay. This looks really, really cute. Let me show you what we're working with. So this is what we have so far. Mrs. Claus, made with love, established in 1886, cookies, hot cocoa, and fudge. And right in between, in that line that we have in that space, we're gonna put shop. So this is gonna be Mrs. Claus's shop. And then we're gonna add some feet to this so that this can be a tray that you can sit some hot chocolate, you can sit some cookies on, pie, whatever it is that you wanna put on it during your Christmas season to make it festive. And when you're serving guests, it'll just be a nice little conversation piece. I'm gonna put a little bit of heat on here because I do want to go in with my IOD crackle stencil and add a little bit of crackling in there, here and there. Hello, Laveda. Hello, Patricia. Thank you for watching. Tonight is Magnolia Monday, so we are working with a Magnolia stencil tonight. I am a Magnolia stencil design rep, so on Monday nights I show you different ways of using Magnolia stencils and different ideas that I come up with for use. I will be leaving all links to the stencils and my shop after this live. Okay. I think I got most of it dry. This could be a piece, if we weren't putting feet on it, you could make this reversible, so you could do, you know, two-sided. You can do something on this side as well as something on this side, but I want to make this a tray with these cute little feet on it, so we won't be putting any stencils on the bottom, but the bottom is finished. So now let me look for my crackle stencil. If you guys have been watching me, you know that I love IOD products, and in particular, I love this stencil. I mean, this stamp. This stamp actually comes in 4 parts, and it is called, I know I use it a lot, but I don't know if I've actually shared the name with you guys as much as you've seen me use it. This is called the Vintage Textures stamp, and it comes in 4 different sections. Here's one section, here's another, and here's another section. And then we have this section, which is my favorite, which is more of a crackle type. So that's the part we're going to be using. So where is my stamp pad? Here we go. So I have a IOD stamp pad with some white IOD stamp on it. Hello, Red Brick Crafts. How are you? Thank you for watching. And I am just going to see if I can get some ink onto it. I'm just going to lay it directly onto the pad and see if I can lift some up that way. I might need to just add a little bit more here just so we can get some nice impression. Just trying to get that to lay down into the pad. I don't want it to be so wet on top of my stamp. Hello, Miss Wilson. Did I say hello to you? How is everybody doing? How was your Monday? Mine was pretty good. I worked from home today. I've got to go into the office tomorrow, though. Okay, I think we got some white on here. And I'm going to start definitely up here on this handle because it's a little bland for me. I'm just going to take my little stamper and just make some impressions there. I'm going to put a little bit here. I'm going to put a little bit over here. And I definitely want some on those ends, but I think I'm going to wait until I get my word shop down and then figure out where I'm going to place that. So I'm just haphazardly going in here and just putting some of that crackle. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. I love the way this gives it that instant look of crackling without too much of the work. So let's sit this off to the side while we try and bring our stencil back and do a little bit of cleanup, because I do know that I am going to need to use it again, and we have sprayed some water on it. So I want to try and see if I can clean that enough for us to use it again. And how I do that on live is I use just some wipes, not baby wipes. These are antiseptic wipes, baby wipes. The lanolin tends to break down your tackiness on your stencil, so you don't want to do that. So these wipes work well, and they help you clean up in a jiffy so that you can use it again. I'm just removing some of that paste. And you can see on our tacky towel, this side, the gray side, is the side that helps you to actually dry and whisk away some of the moisture from your stencil. We really just want to use that word shop again, but I want to make sure that the rest of the paste is also gone from the stencil so that I don't get paste in places where we didn't want it. So that's a pretty good cleanup job, considering that we're not at the sink. Just turn this inside. Okay, I think we might be set. And I have another towel here that I'm going to get just to try and use this side that takes the moisture, just to try and dry it some, because this is the one that we were actually wiping water into. I'm just gonna lay this here. And I'm just gonna kind of lay it onto itself for a sec to get some of that moisture out. Hi Gina, how are you? Hello Tina, how are you? Thank you for watching. Okay, so now we're pretty clean. Got a little piece of lint there. Let's set that back over here. Let's bring our piece back and let's get prepared to lay down the word shop in the middle. This might be a bit of a challenge because the stencil is long and I don't want it sticking to everything. Okay. And you guys know I don't measure anything. I'm an eyeballer, so I don't know how this gonna work. But we'll see. Let me see. That might be the middle. You know what? Let me see something. Let me see what we can use to kind of get us somewhat straight. I put this here. As a marker. If we can get that word kind of right under there, we should be in good shape. So let's see. I don't know, y'all. Y'all wish me luck. The hardest part about using stencils is getting your position correct. Let's see. You could tell I don't measure anything, right? How many of you are like me? How many people are like Tina? So now let's see. Definitely not the same length of space and distance. So I think we probably need to move it over a little bit more towards my left. Even with our pencil there, right? So much for that. I was here, but I don't think it's gonna be in the middle, y'all. Let me do it this way. Let's look this way. That might be even better, right? Okay, you know what? We'll embellish and put something down if we're not exactly in the middle. Okay, so let's go. I am Miss Patterson. I am. You know me. I don't. Y'all know. I told you I'm the rebel crafter. I do things the hard way a lot of the times, but it usually works out. Somehow or another, we work it out. So let's see. Like I said, if for some reason it's too far over, we'll use probably that little heart there. We'll maybe put some more crackle down. Because I don't want to put any like greenery or anything like that, because I'm thinking of this being more of a serving style tray. So we don't want a lot of little tchotchkes or something on it, because that's just going to impede in our spacing and how we can use the tray if we do that. So let's put this back down here. And I think that's pretty good. That's good for Tina work. Hello, Tyree. What do you think, Miss Patterson? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So now again, let's get a little bit of heat on here so we can do some more crackles over here on the sides. I really like this tray. I think this is cute. It'll be cute to bring cups of hot chocolate out on. Put some cookies down when the grandkids come over, if they're sitting down watching Christmas movies. It'll be really cute. Okay. So now let's get our ink pad back and our stamp. Let's put some more crackle down. I'm gonna put some here. Put some here. I'm gonna put a little bit more. That's not as dark as I would like it. Let me put a little bit more over here. That is cute. What do you guys think? I really like that. I think that is so cute. So let's get rid of these. Let's put these over here. Put some water on those. Okay. And I have some stickles here. I like these just because they give it just a little hint of glitter without really being glitter. If you know me, you already know how I feel about glitter. It's not my favorite thing. But I do like to use stickles just because it gives it a little hint of color. Little hint of iridescence. It kind of looks like glitter, but not really glitter, which is my kind of thing, because glitter gets on my nerves. Just added a little bit there. Hopefully that will come through in the camera for you. You can see it hopefully up. Let me point out a spot for you. Some right in there. I hope you can see that. You can't really, it doesn't really translate itself well on the camera, but it's there. This is so cute. I don't really go for a lot of little kitschy things like this, but this is cute. I like this. Hi, Shirley. How are you? It's given kind of like the candy cane kind of vibe. Okay, so now let's look at our feet. This was actually, this came on a garland with some snowflakes, and I just cut these apart because when I saw these, I thought they would make really cute feet on little trays. So I just picked out 4 that were about the same height. They don't necessarily have to be the exact same size, more than the same height. So I just want to make sure that it is going to lay level, and it will. Let me push these in a little bit. And okay, so that's going to kind of be the vibe that we're going for. So let's turn our glue gun on, because we're going to use some hot glue and some Titebond. The hot glue will be the instant hold. The Titebond is going to be the permanent hold. And then if we have some time, we'll do a little ornament. And we'll probably maybe use some elements from the stencil again to create that, just to show you another way you can use the stencil without necessarily using the whole thing. I like to show the use of Magnolia when you can use the stencil in parts. You don't have to use the whole piece. Hello, Miss Mays, how are you? Hello, Linda, how are you? Thank you for watching. Happy Monday to everybody. This is what we've done so far. For those of you who've just come in, this is done with our Magnolia stencil, and we've done this on a cutting board, and we're going to be making a tray out of this tonight. So you can put your hot chocolate on it, you can put cookies on it, serve your guests during the holiday seasons when you're watching Christmas movies and all those sorts of things. Let's clean our stamp first while we're waiting for our glue gun to get hot. Let's get that ink off of there. So that it will be ready to be used again when we need it. Okay. I think our glue gun is warming up, so let's try and put our feet down. Let's get some hot glue on here, and then we'll also put some Titebond for a more permanent hold. Hello, Susie, how are you? Thank you for joining. So I'm just putting a little bit of the hot glue on one side, a little bit of Titebond on the other. I try not to mix the two glues because I don't have a whole lot of luck when Titebond or E6000 or any other type of glue mixes with hot glue. I don't have a lot of luck with the two of them working well together. And while we're doing this, I also want to let you guys know I do have an auction going on in my sale group. I am adopting a class of 14 children, and I'm working to raise money to be able to give them some gifts for Christmas. So if you've been interested in the things that I've made, or possibly thinking about shopping to buy some Christmas presents, please join that group. It's a silent auction. It's just going to be going on for as long as I can in order to raise the money that I need. I'm hoping to raise, 14 kids, I'm hoping to raise enough money to at least have $30 to $50 per child to buy them something for Christmas. So if that sounds good, sounds like something you might want to contribute, a cause you might want to contribute to, come on over to our sale page and see what we have for sale. So here is our tray. That is so cute. I love it. I love it. And those little feet just add a lot of character to it as well. That is so, so cute. I wish I don't have bring my coffee mug to the table, but we'll put a seltzer bottle there. Thank you for that, for those hearts. So, so cute. I really, really like this. This is one of those pieces that you can bring out year after year, use it seasonally over and over again. That is so, so cute. Can you imagine your hot chocolate mugs on here with your cookies or your chocolate covered pretzels? Or maybe that's just me with the chocolate covered pretzels. Watching Christmas movies is just amazing. This stencil, believe it or not, this piece could also be applied to a t-shirt. So you could have a whole, you know, pajama theme going on. You just get you a white t-shirt, put this part on your t-shirt, have some red bottoms on, and you got a whole set working there. So that's the beauty of Magnolia stencils. Always think outside the box. Never think that they're just a one-trick pony. You can do so many things with these stencils, and the fact that they're reusable, you can make a number of items without having to buy the same thing over and over again. This one stencil, the company says you can get at least 14 uses out of it. I have used these stencils more than 14 times, and mine are still going. And you guys know I'm looking at my dark wax and I'm thinking, let's put a little bit, just a little bit, Miss Patterson. Let's try. Y'all know I love dark wax. And y'all know I like to have my edges defined, so that's another reason why I think that dark wax was calling me out of the corner of my eye, because I need to define my edges. I'm not gonna put too much, but I do want some definition there. You could use some Rub and Buff, and you may see once it's posted that I've added a little bit of that as well. But this gives it some character. It doesn't look like it's something that's brand new. It looks like it's something that maybe we use traditionally year after year. So that this helps give it that look. And I like traditions at the holiday season. You know, that's one of the things that I'm really big on is, you know, family traditions, making those traditions that last throughout the generations. Like in my family, for example, one of my traditions is we always put our Christmas tree up the day after Thanksgiving. So my kids and I will be putting the tree up then. You know, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, we usually have the same type of breakfast. My grandmother used to make something called fried apples and salt mackerel and biscuits. She was from Virginia. And my children and I enjoy that for our Christmas Day breakfast. You know, we have a couple of traditions. I share with you guys my do-drop-in gifts that I got from my mom. Those are the gifts that are under the tree that have nobody's name on them, but those are for the people that do drop in. You always have a gift for someone under the tree, whether you knew they were coming or not. So this could even be one of those. You can have something like, you could have this tray, you could put some cookies on it, wrap it up in a nice cellophane bag, and this could be someone's do-drop-in gift. So let's put this to the side for a sec while I have a wood ornament here. So if you were making this as a gift, that's one of those do-drop-in gifts, this could be kind of be like your gift tag. So we're gonna color this. We're gonna paint this. We have 15 minutes, so we're gonna see what we can do in those 15 minutes. Let me just so that I don't lose you on my computer. So let's see if we can paint this. Let's get some paper towel down because I will make a mess. Oh, thank you, Miss Maze. Let's get some red paint down on here real quick. And let's get a little bit of heat on here. Because it is a tag, I don't think I'm gonna paint the back right now. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see how I feel after we get this part done. This paint is a really good. I love Waverly paint because it doesn't require a lot of coats. You see, we just put down one coat and we got really good coverage. So that's one of the reasons why I love Waverly. Now we're going to move our ornament. We're going to get our stencil back for a sec. And I'm gonna wipe down a little bit. Of course, we're not, what we're gonna use from here now is just those little swirls and all those little elements that, those little decorative end caps. Those will look nice on this ornament and it will tie it in with the piece. So if you were given this as a gift, they would match and they will complement each other. Okay. So I'm going to do just what we did before. We're just gonna kind of, you would love to have that with some cookies and hot chocolate. Okay, gotcha. But I won't be baking the cookies. Let me just tell you that right now. I'll put them in a nice plate and make you think I baked them. But it won't be something that I made. That is not my forte. But I'll get you some nice, good cookies. I am not a baker. Not something that I really particularly enjoy, to be honest. So here is our ornament. I think we look like we have a little bit of paint there that kind of bubbled up a little. Let's find our, I don't have it here. Uh-oh, I'm sorry guys, I almost knocked you guys down. I don't see my sanding block, and I thought I had it at the table, but we'll go on without it. Yeah, I'm glad you know it. So we're gonna put this down. And like I said, we're just gonna be using those little decorative elements. So let's get our paste back. I need to get some more white paste. And I'm gonna put just a little bit there first. Let's see how we like that. We'll determine if we need some more. think my stencil was a little wet, but that's okay. I'm gonna put a little bit more here. Okay. There we go. So let's cover this back up. Let's get rid of this. And it doesn't have to be full coverage. That doesn't matter. I'm gonna do a little bit more to it, so that won't really matter. But that's what we have so far. Just took those little swirls from the stencil. Okay, see, there you go. I think they do. So again, you know, we just took that little piece from the stencil and we've applied that. Let's get us a little bit of our, I have some, what is this? This is some slick like puff paint here. So we're gonna just go in and put in a little bit of that there. Let's add some heat on here. And that gives it a little bit of dimension. I'll show you that in a second. And that's what we have. And then what I want to do is, I'm going to see if I can do it with this puffy paint stuff. If I can bring just a little bit up onto the edges of our piece. Because you guys know that I have to define my edges. I'm going to see if I could do it with this little piece of sponge here. So I'm just dabbing it in here just a little bit, and I'm going to see if I can just bring some onto my piece. And some of these areas that look a little lonely, not necessarily on the whole piece, but just to bring the eye in. And let's see what else we can add here. I know I want to do something to that top. Not quite sure what that is yet. Let's see. Didn't we have some? I thought I had some white stickles, but apparently not. We're just gonna add a little bit of that. Again, just to bring some more detail in here. And it gives it a nice shimmer. Let me see if you can see that. Can you guys see that shimmer in there? I think you can see a little bit of it. And now let's look at our rub and buff. just a little bit. Yeah, that's making it look really Christmassy. Not too over the top, but just enough to give it some pizzazz. So there we go with that. So what do you guys think about what we created tonight so far? And then I have some little ribbon here that we could possibly put onto the ornament. So it could act as a hang tag while you give it, and then the person can take it off and actually have an ornament that can hang onto their tree. So I'm gonna see, let me see here, if we put a little bow, and then we use the other part. It looks like a Chick-fil-A. That is too funny to me, sir. Yeah, I guess the red and white, yeah, could be. I could see how that might be saying Chick-fil-A. Okay, come on. Cute, cute, cute. So now let's take this piece. We need the whole thing. Because if we did, maybe not. Let's see. Okay, ladies, I think we are about done. So there we go. And like I said, if you were given this as a gift, this could be your tag. You can write on the back to and from, who is from, who is to and who is from. And that would make a very, very nice gift piece. So what do you guys think? I think this is really cute, and I am really, you guys know me, I am not a color person. This is not something that I do a lot of, but I think this came out really, really cute. I love this stencil. I love the look of it on this tray. I like the idea of using this tray to serve hot chocolate. So I hope you guys had fun watching me create this. I hope you'll come back and see me on Friday. I will also be in an event this weekend. I believe I'm coming on Saturday. You'll see the posting up on the page, so please stick close to the page and please come out and support me in that, as well as check our page for the post regarding our silent auction that we have going on. And I hope to see you all soon. In the meantime, be good to yourself, be good to others, and I will see you all on Friday. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy, have fun, and just be good. So everybody, here you go. Let's see if we can get some hearts going here tonight. I don't know what's there. They are. They are my hearts, from my heart to yours. Thank you. Take care. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.